think from the beginning, our parents were very much look for a job in IT right from when we started school, and that encouraged us to really go and pick up different extracurricular activities at school that was in that general area. So right from the beginning, we were able to get involved in a competition with another two girls where we had to design an app. And the result of that was us being taken to San Francisco, Silicon Valley to visit lots of different tech companies, and that really inspired us from the beginning. So from that point, we chose subjects from GCSE A-level that would let us to go down into that route. And our teachers were always very encouraging to help us find different opportunities for after school.
Brilliant. And your parents were really encouraging you down that route. Louisa, are they in IT themselves, or how did they know? They're
not in IT, but I think they've just seen how interesting and exciting the sector is, and they thought this is a really interesting way to build your career, and they never put any pressure, but they give us quite a supportive environment to go after that.
Great. And were there lots of others following that sort of pathway when you were at school, or were you quite, were you out there in terms of people who are really focused on IT?
We were fortunate that we had quite close relationships with our teachers in school. So although there wasn't many of us going for that pathway, it meant that teachers were interested in us and really wanted to see us do well. So when we said that uni wasn't the route for us initially, they helped us to find an alternative route. And our physics teacher in particular recommended Workplus to help us get started. But now, once we go back to school, you can see more and more people taking up apprenticeships.
Great.
Yeah, we were catching up with our A-level teacher, and he was just saying how the number of students that are now taking SSD at A-level has just boomed. So it's really exciting.
Is that software systems development?
Yes.
Okay. So that's what one of the ones that you chose for A-level.
Yeah.
There's a lot said about that being a difficult A-level. Do you think there's that perception out there, or is it difficult?
I think it's brand new. If you haven't coded before, it's definitely brand new. But so it starts off as maybe a little bit more challenging, but it definitely comes to the point where if you keep at it, it does click. Yeah. And I think a lot of people say the same thing about software engineering, that it can seem really confusing at first, but if you keep at it, you definitely get there. And there's so many rewards for doing it. I think it's not... It might have a perception of being difficult, but it definitely shouldn't stop you from going into it just because of that.
Yeah, you've talked about rewards, but what are some of those things? Even whenever you were at school doing SSD A-level, or even what are some of those rewards that you get?
I would say it's a really satisfactory area to be in.
Yeah.
Every day is different. So you go in and there's a new problem to solve, or there's a new bug to try and get to the bottom of. And it's really exciting just to try and work out those problems. And once you do get to the bottom of it, even though it can be a little bit difficult at time, the satisfaction that comes from that, there's nothing quite like it.
And are you working by yourself? You can't maybe have this perception that people who are in software are maybe on their own with their laptop, maybe in a darkened room, they might have a hoodie up or whatever. Is that the reality?
Well, for me, although I do work remotely most of the time, we have the option to come in to the office and schedule meetings. Maybe we'll message and let everyone know we'll be in this day, and some people arrange their schedules to be in. And when it comes to new feature work or working through bugs, we've been able to take part in different brainstorming sessions and really collaborate, think creatively, and those opportunities are really upbuilding and encouraging, and you get to improve your communication skills and really build relationships with the people that you work with.
Okay, so it's a real team sport, I suppose, is it? Then?
Everyone has so many different skills, and they've come from different pathways, so we all kind of work off each other and bounce ideas off. And being an apprentice especially, we ask a lot of questions. So there's always people free to jump on a call and take you through or re-explain something that's a new idea or new concept.
Yeah. You talked about asking questions there. Have you always felt confident to ask those questions, even when you were back at school? To tell us a bit about that, or have you ever felt shy about those sorts of things?
I think going into an apprenticeship, one thing that was personally a little bit scary for me is that I definitely didn't know very much at all, and I was worried that would I go in and would I be totally out of my depth? But from the beginning, it's been encouraged that you're not supposed to know everything. You're meant to go in with a mindset that you're excited to learn. So everyone is constantly encouraging you to ask questions when you don't understand, and we're ready to help you. And yeah, it's been really exciting to learn those things.
That's great.
I know for me, asking questions was something that I always did, maybe to the annoyance of some of my teachers, to be honest. But when we first started, like Louisa was saying, we were always encouraged to ask questions. The environment's always been so supportive. Our managers are free to jump on a call and make themselves available if they need to walk through code, do a bit of pairing with you, or even like recommending new resources that you can go and do your own research.